No experience necessary. Just follow along. I think you'll have some fun with this. Welcome to my studio. You may not realize that I have a motivational line of artwork called Redefined. What I want to point out is that these figures in here, I wanted to come up with a way to have just a little universal figure. And it took me a while to come up with this. But these figures can be, detailed if you want to give them some characteristics, like that one with the hair, or they can just be, that very simple swirl. Anybody can do this. Anybody can draw a loop, and that's all it is. It's just a loop, okay? It's just a loop. And then you have that little swoosh, is the eyebrow and nose. It's like a shadow. But what I thought would be fun is that we can do these little loops. And if you want to assign some characteristics to these loops, that remind you of family and friends, and we can do it where they're, in a circle. There's a lot of things you can do with this, but, they could all be holding hands. So that's what I'm envisioning with this. So, again, here's the loop. Really simple, and let's have some fun with this. We are going to create a Christmas family tree. Now here's a sketch I've done. I really believe in doing practice sketches and working out some things before you go to the final watercolor paper or whatever medium you're planning on doing this in. Here I've labeled all my immediate family, making sure I'm including everybody. And I'm going to do a better sketch, a darker one that you'll be able to see better. But then I even did this a little closer up to do, what are some characteristics of each family member. I don't think I'll even do this much detail. You can put the little eyes in, if you want to. This is my family right here, my immediate family. This is my sister's family. I don't think we have to have even, that much detail. You're just trying to capture the essence of each family member. Don't stress about it. The more detailed you make it, the more stressful it'll be. So down here at the bottom, you're going to just have squares and rectangles. These are going to be your packages. Okay, and since we're doing this motion a lot, this is how we're going to do our bows. Like here you might do 3, here you might do more, this one you might do on top, this one off to the side, that one has a ribbon going around that way. This one comes right in on top. You might just do a single line. Okay. Now, I'm going to start with my first row. Now, this family is a family of 4. If you have a larger family, here's a little arm. The little arm is sticking out to be the limb. And, oh, let me show you this. I also use stars to represent figures. Stars in my artwork and Redefine for Life represent spirit. And so, you know, you could even do this tree, fill it with stars, and maybe just label each one with names if you're uncomfortable doing this. Okay, so next I have my family. Oh, oh well, it's just a sketch that's way too big for Randy's head. My really tall son. Nikki on the end. Okay, then we're moving up. Now this is a larger family that I've broken up a little bit. My nephew Bradford, brother, and Alex and Maggie. Maggie's his daughter, so they're together as a couple. Above them, his other daughter, Lauren, and her husband, John, just had a baby. So I'm going to make them their own family unit. And here's a little baby. How easy that is? If you want to swaddle it up, just do this. Okay? And then at the top, I'm going to put my stepmother, Peggy. And unfortunately, my father has passed. So she is by herself. There. So here's my, again, just another sketch. But see how the tree's coming together? Real simple. You know, we're just talking swirl, 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 swirl. Now, one thing I am trying to pay attention to, if you have tall people in the family and shorter people in the family. I would not have made his head so wide. He is really tall. You know, I should make him taller. And my brother is really tall, but he's further up in the tree, so he has to be a little bit smaller. And okay, so I think we're ready to go to the real thing. Now I'm only sketching this dark so you can see it. I normally would not sketch this dark on a watercolor, but I found that if I don't, you can't see it. Okay, now I'm gonna extend that out right from that star. Looks like I got the star off center a little bit. Don't care. I'm going for it. This is not something to stress over. It should be fun. Don't be a perfectionist. Okay. I just added water to my watercolor palette. You can use whatever you have. If you want to water down acrylics, I'm not going to go over, all the colors in my palette or anything like that. Use what you want, and or what you have on hand. You can use inks. You could do this in oils if you wanted, or acrylics on canvas. I'm just doing this because I'm trying to show you that you can do something like this very quickly and easily, and have it be fun and meaningful at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to add water. It's probably a little too big, to these little tips. Now, by pre-wetting these areas, that's where the watercolor will stay. I could go just directly on with the color, but I want it to kind of spread and feather out to a really light color. Okay, so I'm charging the area with water, and then I'm just going to touch the water. Touch the tips with the color. Okay. So I'm using a dark Viridian with a regular mixed with like a typical green. Just gonna touch it in there and let it bleed. Okay. Okay, I'm going to draw some of that out a little further, soften the edges. Again, I just have water on this brush. I'm just giving it a path to flow inward with the water. If you're enjoying this video, you can check out my other videos at artzXpress. I do realism, and I do fun things like this. Realism is fun for me, but it may not be for everybody. Also at artzXpress, we are building a van to take our art lessons on the road. So we'll be doing art lessons from all over the country. And you can get all those lessons for free right here on YouTube. So click on artzXpress and subscribe. And if you get around to it, or you're getting something from this, having fun with it, please like this video. It helps the numbers, the algorithm gods. Add a little pigment here. Okay, trick with watercolor, you gotta let it dry before you move on. While I'm waiting for the green to dry, I erased the pencil lines in between the branches. Now, once you go over pencil with paint, it fixes it, so you can't erase them anymore. So any of them that are in here, really can't be erased, or not. Well, you'll end up erasing off your paint. So, an area that I can go ahead and do, because it's not touching anything else, is the star. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of water in the middle to lighten it up. And I think I'd like a little glow around it. So I think I'll pull some of that outward. Make it glow a bit. Okay, while we're waiting on that to dry, I'm going to show you this. This combines a little figure and a star. Star again meaning spirit. And here's dream. That's the bigger one. See the little spirit? And how I've extended the little arm like we did on the tree, but then I've crisscrossed it. Okay? To continue the body, and then I've extended that right up into the stars. So that's a fun thing. And by the way, this is a motivational line that I've had for years that you can find at redefine.com, re-defined.com. If you just like to buy it and mail it, or keep it for yourself. They're motivational, feel-good stuff. I'm making up some Pink People flesh tone. So down here, I'm just using some of my old watercolor. This is a combination of a little bit of red, could be a little bit of alizarin crimson, it looks like, some burnt sienna, a little bit of cad yellow, touch of ultramarine blue. And you've got kind of a generic Pink People flesh tone, okay? It's actually a bit more tan than I am. Okay. I wish I was naturally more tan, but I am not. I'm pink. I do not do sun well. You can use pen and ink. Just a heavier pencil. I'm using Sharpie just because I have it handy. Try to go thick, thin on some of your lines just to give them some character. I've got a thicker Sharpie right here and this thin one, but I can go thick, thin. It adds interest and energy to the line to go from thick to thin. Okay, now don't get caught up in detail. Keep it simple. pick where you want to go a little thicker. Okay. New mommy. If doing this is stressing you out, you're doing it wrong. When you're doing this, you should be thinking, love in your heart for these people, and you know, you're just expressing that in your art. You love them. This is your gift to them. Don't have to always agree with them to love them. I'll just go ahead and do that all the way down. Doing the heavier line on the underside because that would be the side in shadow. Okay, your tree may look very different from mine. That's okay. I have posted the first video on living the dream, without the G, on my sister channel. And you can follow along on the van build if you or somebody you know is interested in van life.